Important safety news for your kids.
A local flu shot clinic.
Election updates.
The latest on Hammer's pool renovation plans.
And children serve our seniors a feast. Those stories and more coming up on this edition of Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Maura Carlin. Our top story. A scary story for parents and their kids. For the last few weeks, a driver in a green minivan or SUV has been approaching children and trying to lure them into the vehicle. 4 incidents have occurred in Rye and Greenwich. Reports are that the van approaches children who are alone or in groups. The driver offers the youths a ride and candy. In all these instances, the children have rejected the offer and reported it. Now, a police sketch has been issued and we're posting it here. Nearby and not so nearby communities have alerted parents, including here, where a message was sent to Hammock's parents telling of the incidents and asking parents to review stranger danger procedures with children. Never talk to a stranger or accept an invitation into a vehicle. Use well-traveled paths and stay in groups whenever possible. If you are approached, try to remember the license plate and call 911 immediately.
There's good news for Westchester residents and businesses as far as property taxes in the county are concerned. According to County Executive Andrew Spano, there will be no increases in property taxes for the coming financial year. This year, the county property tax level increased by 18.9%. The budget next year will raise county spending by 4% to almost $1.5 billion. 1/3 of the increase in county spending of $57 million will go to the county's contribution to Medicaid. Property taxpayers in Westchester benefit from an increase of $29 million in revenues generated by sales, mortgage, and vehicle taxes, which went up this year. Here are some of the budget cuts proposed by Spano. 37 unfilled jobs will be cut. The contribution to the state pension system will be reduced by $9.5 million. The promise of no increase in the property tax will actually mean that most taxpayers are likely to see a reduction of their county taxes. As the tax base of the county has increased with an assessed value that grew by almost 9%, the tax levy will be spread over this expanded base and will reduce the property tax that individual taxpayers have to pay.
So here it is, weeks after Election Day, and still no official results for the Village of Mamaroneck trustee race. And the Westchester County Board of Elections says it won't become official until December 6th. The unofficial count has Democrat Tom Murphy in the lead, with Anthony Voza and Joseph Angeletta following. Republican incumbent Christy Derrico, who appears to have placed 4th, conceded defeat and congratulated the 3 candidates who seem to have won. We'll let you know when the official results are out. And in more election-related news, George Latimer easily became the new state assemblyman for our area. He beat out his Republican opponent, Vincent Malfitano, to become the new assemblyman for the 91st District, which covers Rye, Rybrook, Mamaroneck, Larchmont, Portchester, and parts of New Rochelle. He replaces Ron Tochi, who didn't run for another term. Mr. Latimer came to our studio and talked about the election and his plans for Albany. Election night was a big night for you. Results came in pretty strong, pretty early. What do you think it was in your message that was so resounding with voters?
Well, Maura, I think a couple things. First of all, a lot of folks in this area, certainly in Larchmont, Mamaroneck Town, and Mamaroneck Village, know the work that I put in over these years. So I think I was a known quantity to them, and we've had the chance to work on a host of issues over these many years. So I think there was a base of support that I had in the election that was built off of what I've tried to do in my career. I also think that people really are tired of negative politics, and I feel as if in my campaign I stayed on a positive message. We talked about how we're going to handle taxes and the environment and commuter issues, and I think if you, at least I like to believe this, if you stay in that direction, you get a better response than if you attack your opponent and you go negative. But I also think that people understand that in New York, the state legislature is dysfunctional, and I think they take me at my word that I'm going to try to make a positive impact up there, which is what I'm going to try to do in the next 2 years.
Now, do you have any specific plans for what you're going to do to make changes when you get to Albany?
Yeah, a couple of things. I mean, first of all, the thing that I think is most problematic in Albany is the fact that things work on a much more partisan basis than they need to. I'm a Democrat. I'm proud to be a Democrat, but in my career, I've always worked fairly equally well with Democrats and Republicans, and I think where you may have disagreements in opinions, it doesn't have to turn into this dysfunctionality where you cease to even cooperate. And so I'd like to think on a personal level, the way I intend to function in Albany is the way I have down here, which is to work with people regardless of party and try to find common ground. There are many specific things that this area needs. Some of them are very specific. On the intersection of Palmer and Weaver Street, you need to have new restriping and you need a new traffic light with green arrows. That's very specific. More cosmically, we have to put more money into commuter rail. We have to get new rail cars for commuters. We have to keep the stations cleaner. And then more macro than that, we have to get a budget done on time. And that will be the toughest to deliver of all. In fact, I think it's going to be hard to deliver an on-time budget the first year. As we're speaking tonight, the governor vetoed a plan, and I don't know if that's going to be able to be put back together in a short period of time.
Are there, beyond what you've told us, particular issues, health care or taxes or something that you have in mind?
Yeah, I think in general there are really 4 issues that came up over and over again in the campaign. The first one is control of property taxes, and that deals with the state making decisions to relieve mandates on local governments, town governments, school districts, as well as the county. This is my last county budget that I'm voting on. It appears we're going to be able to freeze property taxes at the county level this year. The town and the villages seem to be doing a good job this year, so that element of it, I'm hopeful. Second issue is education. We're all concerned about having the best possible education, and education that's done in a way that is affordable. The third issue would be the environment, and the fourth one, transportation, which I've alluded to. There's many, many more issues. Healthcare is very critical, but it's a pretty good agenda to start with.
That's a lot of work to do. Now, you were really hands-on during the campaign. I mean, the door-to-door stories are legendary. Do you want people to contact you, and how?
Well, we haven't set up a district office yet. I'm planning to have one by the first of the year in Mamaroneck Village, most likely. We're looking for some office space now. For the moment, they can contact me in my county offices, and we may have a graphic or not, but my office number is 995-2802. And they're welcome to call me there. I'll even give out my home number as long as you use it with discretion. My wife is going to answer the phone at odd times at 967-1819. And if someone needs to reach me, we can use email. There's 100 ways to get in touch. But I would prefer to hear from people on issues as they see fit.
Well, that's great. And we look forward to having you in Albany and that you'll come back and talk to us again.
I'm happy to do it. Maura, thanks a million.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
While Metro North discusses fare hikes for next year, its performance continues to be poor. Recently, on-time performance numbers for September were released. Train is on time when it arrives within 5 minutes and 59 seconds of the schedule. As in the past, the New Haven line continues to be the worst performer of the 3 lines operated by Metro North on this side of the Hudson River. During the AM peak period, 95.8% of trains arrived on time, and in the evening peak period, 96.6% did so. Overall, the New Haven line on-time performance, including off-peak trains on weekends and weekdays for the months of September, was 96.6%. System-wide, including the Harlem, Hudson, and New Haven lines, the overall on-time performance in September was 96.9%.
And the fallout from the Village of Mamaroneck Police Department's disciplinary proceedings continues with a new lawsuit in federal court against LMC-TV and its executive director, Eric Lewis, and administrator of the Board of Control for LMC-TV, Lenny Verastro, as well as Village of Mamaroneck Mayor Phil Trifoletti, trustee Anthony Voza and Christy Derrico, and the Police Benevolent Association. Plaintiffs, who are 4 police officers with disciplinary cases still pending, allege that Eric Lewis colluded with others to prevent airing of a documentary entitled The Truth that was to run on LMC-TV October 28, 2004, a few days before Election Day. The documentary includes tape-recorded conversations, excerpts from depositions, and rebuttals to the September 2004 press conference by Mayor Trifoletti on the situation. Plaintiffs claim they placed an ad in the Journal News promoting the broadcast and encouraging voters to replace the Republican trustees up for re-election. According to Mr. Lewis, the broadcast was deferred because the PBA claimed that it would constitute libelous and tortious defamation of character against named officers. Mr. Lewis points out that plaintiffs were treated as any other community resident and were required to sign a form that notes the prohibition of programming that, quote, in the judgment of LMC-TV raises the serious risk of legal liability, end quote. The PBA letter raised this risk, as Mr. Skehan was told by Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis says the documentary may still air if the PBA issues are resolved. Now, this is the second lawsuit against LMC-TV relating to the police disciplinary hearings. In September 2003, Mamaroneck Village Police Chief Flynn sued LMC-TV to prevent televising of the disciplinary proceedings. That case was dismissed by a New York Supreme Court judge.
In other local police news, a Town of Mamaroneck police officer has pleaded guilty to a disorderly conduct charge after being charged last August with assault, menacing and harassment for attacking a woman. Officer John Rosabella was accused of kicking a woman twice and putting her in a headlock. Rosabella was suspended without pay on August 16. Rosabella received a $350 fine and a 1-year conditional discharge. If he stays out of trouble for a year, the case will be sealed. During that year, a court order of effect for the victim.
With flu season upon us and a shortage of the flu vaccine, there's good news for our community. Flu vaccines will be available on Tuesday, December 14th from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Larchmont Senior Center, located at 119 Larchmont Avenue behind the Larchmont Library. However, pre-registration is required. You will need to call the Town of Mamaroneck Community Services Office at 381-7840 between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. from Monday through Friday until December 3rd. Now, the less good news, there may not be enough for everyone who wants a shot to get one. The priority scheduling list for individuals requesting the vaccine is as follows. Senior citizens age 65 and over, and you must provide identification. Those between the ages of 18 and 64 with a chronic health condition, and pregnant women. However, both those categories must provide a prescription from their doctor. Healthcare workers with proof of employment in a health-related field. All others will be considered based on availability of the vaccine. For fees and to find out if new additional appointments become available, you can call the 24-hour flu information line at 914-813-5609. The tape message will be available 24/7, and there will also be a staff of 10 live people available during normal business hours from 8:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. Or you can check online at www.westchestergov.health. Also available for older adults to fend off pneumonia is the pneumococcal vaccine. For eligible residents, the cost is only $20.
A Mamaroneck man accused last week of stealing a check and forging a signature in New Rochelle is also wanted in Mamaroneck Village in connection with a September 16th armed robbery there. As reported in the Journal News, 23-year-old Daniel Hamlet was accused by New Rochelle police of stealing a check from Labor Ready, an employment agency in New Rochelle, and trying to cash it at Eastchester Check Cashing. In Mamaroneck, village police say Hamlet and 18-year-old Jarve Williams of White Plains stabbed and robbed a man both of them knew. It happened September 16th at 10:30 p.m. in the parking lot of the former Food Emporium on Boston Post Road. The man suffered a puncture wound and has since been released from a hospital, police said. Williams was charged September 21st with first-degree robbery, a felony. Mamaroneck plans to charge Hamlet once New Rochelle is finished with him. Hamlet additionally had 2 outstanding bench warrants in New Rochelle in an unrelated matter.
Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray is swimming with information about the Hommocks Pool renovation.
Plans for upgrading the Hommocks Pool continues to be an ongoing project. The Mamaroneck School Board has presented another proposal to the Town of Mamaroneck official and members of the Recreation Committee. It has become necessary that the pool be brought up to county health department standards. The health department requires improvements in the circulation system by changing gutters, adding returns to the floor, and enlarging the pipe size from the main drain. For the divers, the main beam in the roof needs to be altered, and the depth of the water should be marked on the tile. The question remains, should there be another bubble replaced at the cost of $30,000? Or should a cathedral roof design be used at the cost of approximately $7 million? A new proposal has been presented to the board by Land Architects. This plan calls for a raised, translucent ceiling down the center of the pool with 6 skylights on either side of the ridgeline that could slide down when necessary. Structural bracing would be required for snow and wind loads. Now, when you change a roof, you also must change the heating and ventilation system. A new system would dehumidify the area as well as create the circulation of heat into warming the pool during the winter. The cost of renovation would come from the same taxpayers. Everyone in this community has access to the pool, whether student or senior citizen. If the town approves their portion of the funding, the project would go to architects for plans and specifications, then to the city and state for their approval, and finally out to bid early next year. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Glenna Gray.
More news from Hammocks. This time the ice ring is calling all artists. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Brad Martz has the details.
Do you have a creative flair, or do you love to ice skate? Well, if one or both of these fits you, take part in a Hammocks Park Ice Rink 30-year anniversary celebration by creating a logo. The Town of Mamaroneck Recreation Department is sponsoring the contest. To enter, just submit your design on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of white paper. Design ideas could include various things like open public skating and the youth hockey program, but entries should not include anything regarding the 30-year anniversary. Entries should be submitted by December 6, 2004 to the Hammocks Park Ice Rink or the Mamaroneck Recreation Department office at 740 Boston Post Road in Mamaroneck. The winner will be announced at the 30-year celebration at Hammocks Ice Rink on January 30, 2005. The winner will receive a t-shirt printed with their winning logo, a $50 gift certificate to A.I. Friedman Art Store, and a free 12-session skating pass for the 2004-2005 season. So get out your skates and your drawing pencils. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Brad Martz.
Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray gives a cheer for a local doctor.
Dr. Lawrence Falls, a Larchmont resident, has recently been honored by the New York chapter of the American College of Physicians, or otherwise known as ACP. He received their laureate award. The award acknowledges ACP members who have shown by example and conduct an enduring dedication of excellence in the medical field regarding care, education, research, and in service to their community, their region, and the ACP itself. Dr. Falls was also appointed a fellow to the New York Academy of Medicine in September. The Academy spearheads proposals or research areas in which scientists follow various medical studies. The elected position is lifetime. Dr. Falls is board certified in internal medicine and rheumatology. He has been on the faculties of NYU School of Medicine, Albert Einstein College of Medicine, and Cornell University School of Medical College. He is currently the Associate Clinical Professor of Medicine at Mount Sinai of Medicine. Well done, Dr. Falls. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Glenna Gray.
A local woman turns her passion into a business. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Brett Martz fills us in.
Hi, we're here tonight with Lori Parkinson from Westchester Adventures. Hi, Lori.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you for coming down. And basically, we just wanted to talk to you about your company. Lori's the founder of Westchester Adventures, and why don't you just tell us a little bit about what Westchester Adventures does?
We organize athletic activities such as bike tours, power walking, and other kinds of physical fitness things. And the biggest thing right now that we're doing is bike rides. And I'm taking people all over Westchester and Connecticut and taking them on rides for, small groups basically.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and what gave you the idea to start Westchester Adventures?
Well, I'm a big cyclist, and I've been doing it for a very long time, and I love it. And I've been doing triathlons, and in my training, I just kept thinking how much I love this, and I wanted to share it with other people, because I just think it's such a great feeling of being outdoors and riding my bike and just exploring areas. So I thought it was a good way to tie in my interests with the community.
Absolutely. And then how did you actually get started with the business after you came up with the idea?
Well, I know quite a few people, and I know a lot of the friends I have are very athletic, and so I just had talked to them about that I was going to start organizing these bike rides, and everyone got really excited about it because it was just a chance for them to get out and be around other people and find ways to ride where they wouldn't typically go on their own, and it's just giving them a leader and someone to take them wherever, with another group. So that's how I got going with everyone.
Okay, and then from a client base, what would you say, where do you get most of your clients from?
Well, basically from a lot of the people I know in Larchmont, it just starts to build because I take some people out on a ride, and then if they have a good time, then they tell another friend, and just from, I have 4 kids, and so I know a lot of people through them and just my own friends, and it just has worked out really well just in everyone I know, and I've just been spreading the word. And I did a kids ride, and I sent a flyer out to people and an email, and basically I communicate a lot through the email with people, and people can reach me that way at Laureate@westchesteradventures.com, and I put a calendar out every couple weeks, and through that calendar it gives them a sense of all the rides, so people keep wanting to come on board for those things.
Okay, and then talking to you, it sounded like you had a lot of creative ideas for different tours and that type of thing. How do you actually come up with the ideas, or how do you put those tours together?
Well, from riding so much on my own, I just have found so many beautiful areas, and it's almost like the bike's my car. And I just love to explore around here, and I just was training all the time for my races, and so through that, I just would find routes that I know would be good for people. And, I have different kinds of rides. Some are more to, we went to City Island yesterday, and, today, and then yesterday I did a ride that was much more for a rigorous workout, so it was much more finding roads that had a lot of hills on them, but in a different location than Larchmont. Okay. So just depends sort of on what people are looking for.
Okay, so then how's the best way to get in touch with you to get signed up for a tour?
Either you can reach me on my website, Laureate@westchesteradventures.com, or at 914-589-0989, and then I can get people's emails and send them information or answer any questions for them. Okay,
great. Then so to get in touch with you, just dial 914-589-0989, and hopefully they can have fun and get out on a tour.
Definitely.
Well, great. Well, thanks for coming down.
Thanks.
Thanksgiving came early to local seniors as the Hommocks Middle School hosted its annual Thanksgiving luncheon for approximately 180 senior citizens from the Mamaroneck and Larchmont Senior Centers, St. Augustine's Church, the Sarah Newman Facility, and the Harbor Island Senior Center. Charming middle schoolers from the Student Council, and I must say, including my own son Danny, served and schmoozed their guests under the supervision of faculty advisors Karen McKee and Pedro Johnson. The older generation enjoyed the time with the youngsters.
From Mamaroneck, and I went to all Mamaroneck, did 3 schools, and my husband and I had a baking for 21 years, Albert and Pierre's on the Post Road of Mamaroneck, and I'm with the seniors at Harbor Island.
Have you been to the luncheon before?
Once before.
You having a great time?
Very good. The children are gracious. It was excellent. So was the couple.
I said it before. I was in quite a trip in Italy, a fighting casino. Very nice. Help American casino. When there was the Second War. The Italia was called for peace. The government called everybody want to go for fight for Germany, help America. I was over there in casino for 1 year more. After we broke the casino, going out to go finish the war. I jumped into time, the American plane. I got all of my picture home, my house over here, Mamaroneck. I got all the pictures when I was to jump to the plane and when I jumped to the plane.
So you really give thanks for being here, don't you?
I love it. Beautiful. Got my family, my boy, born in this country. I'm 45 years in this country. America, beautiful. Beautiful. Nobody can say nothing about this country. It's wonderful. Give bread for everybody. Bring people here, people jealous for this country.
My name is Carlin. I'm from America also.
And have you been to the senior luncheon before?
Pardon?
Have you been to the senior luncheon before?
I've been here before, yes. Last year I was here.
You see any familiar faces among the children?
Same one.
And what about you two lovely ladies?
I'm Marie Paul, and I live in Mamaroneck, and I've been through the high school and grammar school here, and I come every year.
What's your favorite part about the luncheon?
Oh, the kids are wonderful, and the orchestra or whatever, the band, they're wonderful. They really are. I appreciate it.
The luncheon was made possible by contributions of several local businesses, including Stop and Shop, Dunkin' Donuts, and Costco. And that's it for this week's edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
If you want to see this new show, you can. It's on every weekday night at 7 p.m. and we record one show each week, and it's replayed on this channel, LMC-TV, channel 75.
Or if you want to request to see it, you can call LMC-TV after 4 in the afternoon during the week at 698-6808 and ask to see the new show. They'll try to put it on at a time that's convenient for you to watch.
And this reminder, this news program is an all-volunteer effort, and we could use a few more volunteers either behind the scenes or as a reporter. Or maybe you'd like to shoot video. Whatever the case, we need you.
In short, if you want to volunteer to help us put this program on, we have something for you to do. Stop by some Thursday night in the LMC-TV studios and see how we do what we do.
The LMC-TV studios are in the Mamaroneck High School, the Palmer Avenue side, just up the stairs across from the landmark Walter's hot dog stand. We get things started around 7 p.m. and we would love to see you.
Also, if you have any comments or suggestions or some video of an event that you'd like us to put on this new show, bring it to the studio or write to us at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News in care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
Thanks again for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven.
And I'm Maura Carlin. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll see you next time. Leave it on. You're going to keep the mic on. Attempted abductions of children.
Federal funds coming to Mamaroneck.
A new police contract, but it's not Larchmont Village.
Speeding up will cost you more.
And kids learning to give. Those stories and more are coming up right here on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Maura Carlin. Our top story. Families and children remain on alert as the attempted abductions of children continue in our area. 9 instances in the last few weeks of a minivan or SUV trying to lure school-aged children inside. 6 of the attempts were in Rye, with 1 in Eastchester and 1 in New Rochelle, just blocks from the town of Mamaroneck border. And 8 of the 9 cases involve a green minivan or SUV, all with a similarly described driver. The 9th incident occurred on December 1st in Rye, when two boys walking to a friend's home saw a green SUV following them. They began to run and the SUV pulled over. The female passenger in the car reportedly signaled the boys to get in the car, then motioned again and told them to get in. The boys ran and are fine. The woman is described as having long dark hair, long fingernails, and wearing a black coat. The driver is described as a man with dark hair and crooked teeth. We're posting a picture of the suspect driver again. In November, Mamaroneck schools notified families of the attempted abductions and asked that children be reminded again of stranger danger procedures. Now, some local families are also keeping a closer watch on their kids, assigning adults to wait for buses to pick up students for school and restricting unsupervised outdoor activities. Local police departments in Rye, Rhinebeck, Mamaroneck, and New Rochelle have all been working together and are in touch with the school districts. Anyone with information is urged to call local authorities.
Westchester unemployment numbers continue to show a downward trend. In October, the unemployment rate came down 0.3 percentage points to 3.6% compared to 3.9% in October of 2003. It's the lowest unemployment since April of 2003. It is also well below the unemployment rate for New York City, which was recorded at 6.2% for October of this year, compared to 8.4% in October of 2003. In Westchester, 3,000 jobs were added compared to October of 2003. Professional and business services and educational and health services added about 2,100 jobs, according to the New York Department of Labor. Business in Westchester seem to be confident that they will continue to hire more people in the coming months to cope with increasing demand.
The town of Mamaroneck and the police department reached an agreement on a new 3-year contract last month, nearly a year after the last contract expired. The new contract calls for salary increases of 3.75% for calendar year 2004, 3.85% for 2005, and 4.01% for 2006. According to Town Administrator Steve Altieri, critical issues in the negotiations included sick leave, overtime, benefits accrued during leave of absences, longevity pay, life insurance, and health care insurance. The board's vote to approve the contract was not unanimous, with Town Supervisor Valerie O'Keefe against it, because the definition of domestic partner for benefits, as required by New York State, was too limited in not including family members.
Nita Lowy, who represents our area in the House of Representatives in Washington, was successful in obtaining federal funds for Mamaroneck. Lowy, a Democrat, is a member of the Appropriations Committee of the House. $50,000 of federal assistance will go to a summer academy of Mamaroneck Union Free School District. Another $110,000 will be sent to the village for work on the sewer system. In 1994, a sewer system evaluation survey by Westchester County identified influent infiltration problems in the sewer system. With the federal funds, work can go ahead to eliminate these problems.
Getting caught speeding on the roads in New York is going to cost you more. In a little-known provision in the new New York State budget, as of November 17th, drivers who accumulate 6 or more points in an 18-month period will not only have to pay the fines and surcharges, but also $100 per year for the next 3 years. Each extra point on the license over 6 adds an additional $25 per year to the penalty. If you're found under the influence of alcohol or drugs, that adds $250 per year. And this driver responsibility assessment cannot be reduced by any defensive driving course. If you don't pay, the state will suspend your license.
An abandoned restaurant at 1258 East Boston Post Road has been the target of an alleged arsonist. A 20-year-old Mamaroneck man, Noel DiMaggio, broke into the building at 3 different times and set fire to it. The fires were set on October 20th and 29th and on November 6th. DiMaggio surrendered to the police and was charged with 3 counts of third-degree arson, a felony.
More bucks for books? Well, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Elizabeth Fair reports on the Mamaroneck Public Library.
The Mamaroneck Public Library seeks a 4.5% budget increase, which will be voted by the village next month. If approved, the augmented budget would create a 4.8% increase in the library tax. According to Joan Grott, the library's director, the $62,222 will cover expanded internet services, a 3% salary increase for library's staff members, increases in the cost of health insurance premiums, and a rise in required payments to the New York State Employee Retirement System. Other library programs have been funded by the Friends of the Mamaroneck Library. An upcoming program sponsored by the group on December 12th will be a visit by the Wolf Conservation Center of South Salem. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Elizabeth Fair.
Lessons in the importance of lending a helping hand are starting young. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Mike Witch tells of a local PTA program to get kids and families involved.
Amy Kreisberg, welcome to LMC News.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
You are the coordinator, is that fair to say, of community outreach at Murray Avenue School?
That's fair to say, yeah.
And tell us about community outreach.
Well, community outreach is a committee that was started last year that came about at Murray because every year the PTA asks Murray parents if there are any ideas or programs or projects that they think belong in the school that have not yet begun in the school. And many times this idea of community service or community outreach came up. And we decided that last year was as good a time as any to get it started, and so we did. We got it off the ground last year, and it was very successful, and we're continuing with it again this year.
You've got 3 projects, I think you mentioned, that you're engaged, that you did last year and you're engaging again in this year?
That's right. We had 3 initiatives that we completed last year. The first was a book drive, which was really wonderful. We envisioned that every Murray family would donate 1 book to our book drive, and we asked parents to go home with their children and spend some time with their kids looking at their bookshelves and picking out a book to donate. We hoped that the children would pick a book that they had already read, but that still had some dear meaning to them, still had some sentiment, so that it would really mean something when they gave it away.
And they would give it away to somebody their age?
They would give it away to an elementary school student, a school in Jersey City, New Jersey, that we had a relationship with that was really in desperate need of books. They were just developing a library and had no books at all. And the community really came through. It was more than we could possibly have asked for. Not only did each family bring 1 book, but we had 1,800 books by the time the book drive was done. And what was really remarkable is that the school from Jersey City came up to collect the books, and they brought some of the students from their school who met with some of the students from our school during the handover of books. And the exchange from student to student was really wonderful, especially I think for our students to see. To hear our students hear a child say that he has none of his own books at home and could he possibly take one of these books to his home was really worthwhile.
That's terrific. And the other projects?
The other 2 projects that we did last year, one was a card writing campaign, which we ran during some of the cold weather months, the indoor lunchtime activities that our children did. They had the opportunity, if they wanted, to make cards and bookmarks, which we then delivered to the Sarah Newman Nursing Home. And I think the kids really got a lot out of seeing that they could do a project totally by themselves that really brought some happiness to somebody who might not otherwise have had that during the day.
Sure.
And the last thing that we did was a food drive, which had been ongoing at Murray for many years, but we changed it a little. We asked each grade level to bring a particular food so that the children might own it a little bit more. And again, it was also very successful. The food pantry was very happy getting the food from Murray Avenue.
And on December 4th, you're doing another food collection at Stop and Shop? Or you did one? Yes.
On November 20th, we did do a food collection at Stop and Shop. One of the things that parents asked for at the end of last year was for us to get them in touch with, there's so many community service initiatives that other groups do in the Larchmont Mamaroneck community. And they asked us to put them in touch with those events as they're ongoing so that Murray families could participate outside of school hours. And so the first one that we did this year was on November 20th. The food pantry runs a collection in front of the Stop and Shop, actually I believe in front of many stores throughout the area. And from 9 o'clock till 1 o'clock that Saturday morning, Murray Avenue families, parents with their children, stood and handed out flyers and then collected the food as people came out of the store. The food which was then delivered to the food pantry. So that was the first of those things that families had.
The second one,
the second
December
one,
4th.
the Saturday night, December 4th, Murray Avenue families helped to sort food and toiletries for the midnight run, which was going to happen later that evening, which happened later that evening.
Terrific. So this idea about community outreach, why did the parents think it was a good idea in elementary, for elementary students? Normally you'd think of it for middle school students or high school students as community service project.
Right. My guess is that the ideas that drove parents to request it were probably as varied as the families themselves, but the ones that I can envision are, you know, so many Murray families, I would have to imagine most Larchmont Mamaroneck families give of their time and give whatever resources they have to many initiatives throughout the year within the families themselves. But I think those things are really difficult for the children in the family to feel a part of. And so it makes sense to ask the school to have some kind of role in that, to really make the kids feel more a part of giving and community service, and then bring it back to the family. And perhaps another reason is, you know, in this day and age, our kids from such an early age are exposed to so much and are see so much and ask for so much and are given so much because we in this community, fortunately, oftentimes have the means to give our kids things and to provide our kids with experiences. And so it's hard, I think, to keep our kids grounded in some ways. I know when I sit around with my friends, we're often talking about how to instill the right kind of values in our kids, and we try to help each other with that process. And so I think it makes sense for the school, once again, to have some kind of role in that. I think when children work together towards a common goal, those values really stay put, and it's helpful. And I really do think it might be an instance where it takes a village. You know, it's very difficult to do it within the family, but when everyone puts their minds together, we can certainly get our children, you know, on the right track.
Well, our congratulations to you and to the other Murray parents involved in community outreach, and thank you for coming on LMC Community News.
Thank you very much.
Our community is diverse, but how do local students feel? Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Imania Harrison spoke to Mamaroneck High School students to find out.
The topic of today is diversity, and local students from Mamaroneck believe that it is an issue that exists in our school. Diversity means embracing or the existence of different cultures, race, and gender. Every student had the same outlook on diversity except one. 3 out of the 4 students believe that diversity does not exist in our school. The students said that Mamaroneck High School is not diverse because there is about 85% Caucasian students, and the other 15% makes up the other Hispanic, African American, Asian student body. On the other hand, 1 out of the 4 students believe that diversity does exist in our school. Only 1 student thought that there is an equal amount of cultures in our school. The 3 students that disagreed about diversity existing in Mamaroneck High School shared with me that they have friends of all cultures and they hang out with all groups of people, including the minorities. The 1 student that agreed about Mamaroneck High School being diverse hangs out with her own ethnic group. Lastly, I asked each student about their views on diversity and if they felt that a student should be judged by the way they look or act. Each student agreed that no matter what race or sexual orientation you are, no one has the right to be judged or picked on. Basically, everyone is naturally equal. So there you have it. There is no way in which you can change a person's outlook on diversity, but there are many ways in which you can improve and learn about different cultures. From Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Imania Harrison.
And that's it for this week's edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
If you want to see this news show again, you can. It's on every weekday night at 7 p.m. We record 1 show each week and it's replayed on this channel, LMC-TV channel 75.
Or if you want to request to see it, you can. Call LMC-TV after 4 in the afternoon during the week at 698-6808 and ask to put on the news show. They'll try to put it on at a time that's convenient for you to watch.
And this reminder, this news program is an all-volunteer effort, and we could use a few more volunteers either behind the scenes or as a reporter. Or maybe you'd like to shoot video. Whatever the case, we need you.
In short, if you want to volunteer to help us put this program on, we have something for you to do. Stop by some Thursday night in the LMC-TV studios and see how we do what we do.
The LMC-TV studios are in the Mamaroneck High School building, the Palmer Avenue side, just up the stairs, across from the landmark Walter's hot dog stand, and we get things started around 7 p.m. and we would love to see you.
Also, if you have any comments or suggestions or some video of an event that you'd like us to put on this news show, bring it to the studio or write to us at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News in care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
Thanks again for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven.
I'm Maura Carlin. See you next week. Hello and welcome to a special edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Maura Carlin. We have a real treat for you. This was a big season for Mamaroneck High School girls sports. The high school field hockey team won the Class A state championships. First time in high school history. And we've got the girls and their coach here to tell all about it. I'm joined by John Savage, coach of the Class A state champions in field hockey. And that team happens to be the Mamaroneck High School girls field hockey team. So thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
This is very exciting, and I understand it's made Mamaroneck High School sports history.
Yes, this is the first state team championship in either girls or boys sports. We feel very honored that field hockey was able to complete an undefeated season, which is another first in the field hockey program, and move into the states and win the state championship.
Well, it must have been a very exciting time for the whole team. Was there a moment where you, before it happened, where you saw, gee, maybe this will be our season?
Well, I don't know if we saw the moment, but I know last year we had an overtime loss against Lakeland, a 5-4 overtime loss, and they went on to win the states that year. And we thought we were every bit as good as they were, and we kind of started planning from that moment on to shoot for the sectional championship, and that was our main goal. And after we achieved that, we set secondary goals to do the best we could at states. And that was one of our goals all year long, is every game just go out and play the best field hockey we can play, and the score would take care of itself. And it did all year long.
Well, at some point in the season, I understand that you became a little superstitious. Is that right?
As we got towards the end of the season and things were going along well and we were winning, you know, in the sectional tournament, we won the sectionals, the outfit you see on me now became the only outfit I would wear to each of the games. My wife did clean it, so I was okay when I got to the game. But the girls like to rib me on it, that nice outfit, Sav, whenever they see it.
Well, I hear you also took this win personally. It cost you.
Yes, it cost me some facial hair. At the beginning of the season, I said to them, you know what, if we win states, the beard and the mustache, you can shave it. And all year long, the girls have kind of been hinting that their cry was, Sav, the fur's going to fly. So we kind of had a running joke about that, and at the end of the year, the fur did fly.
Well, it's something they won't forget. Now, you have these beautiful, I don't even know what to call them, medallions, trophies.
Right. The one on the right is the regional plaque that we won when we beat Ward Melville 2-1 in a very intense and physical game. The other one on the left is the New York State Championship trophy, which we're very proud of, that we were awarded when we beat Saratoga Springs 1-0 in a very tough game for the finals.
That's great. Now, who gets to keep them?
The school will keep them, and hopefully they'll find a nice place of honor for them in the trophy room that we're probably going to be setting up. It's as you know, it's the first one in Mamaroneck's history. Hopefully it won't be the last one.
Now, I know you've been honored in a number of different ways. When you came home, it wasn't just by a school bus.
No. When we won the sectionals, the Village of Mamaroneck actually met us at exit 18 off of 95 with several fire engines and police vehicles. Mike Chaparelli was nice enough to contact the people and ask for their support. And I must tell you, the village really supported us, not only during that sectional time where they rode us to the high school, but during the state, when we won the states, when we arrived, they gave us a tour of Larchmont, Mamaroneck, and they really made the girls feel special. And I would really like to personally thank, as do the girls, the village for the support they gave us, because it gave the girls some memories they'll not forget.
Now, speaking of the village, you also were given a certificate of appreciation by the village, by the mayor, which is exciting, and you were acknowledged with a proclamation by the town of Mamaroneck.
Right.
I mean, were those at ceremonies? Were they?
Well, it was at a board meeting where they took time out of their schedule, and they did a nice job of honoring the girls as special field hockey players, but also special individuals. And we've just been told that the Village of Larchmont will meet us this Monday, and they would like to also offer their congratulations to the team. So the whole community has really stepped up and really embraced this team.
That's wonderful. Now, was there a moment that was the most exciting moment?
I think for myself and the girls, avenging last year's loss against Lakeland in the sectionals, that was our main goal, that was our focus. And when we achieved that, I mean, the exhilaration and the happiness on everybody's face for that moment, I think that was probably the happiest moment of the season. And then we really didn't know how far we could go. We knew that if we got out of the sectional tournament, we could do well. But I think the Lakeland game, because of the disappointment we suffered the year before, I think the Lakeland game was the happiest moment I personally had. And you know, that might be a question you might want to ask the girls.
Was there a particular strategy that you managed to hold off goals? You know, were your games low-scoring games by the other teams, or were you just scoring so many goals?
No, they were close games. It was a 1-0 game against Lakeland in sectional. It was 2-1 against Ward Melville for the regional. The best game we had was a 4-0 semi-final win up at States, where we really dominated. But usually when you get to this part of the season, you're going to really have to go out and focus and fight for 60 minutes and do the best you can, because usually it's the 1 or 2 mistakes that determines the winner.
Now, I understand that you've got 8 seniors out of your 21 on the team?
I have 8 starting seniors.
Starting seniors.
Starting seniors for me. I'm losing those individuals. It'll be a big loss for the program. In their 4 years of playing at Mamaroneck, they've only lost 2 games. So we look forward to kind of filling in those spaces, and we do have people coming up through the program who will do that. And Erica Nielsen, Trish Miller, and Kathleen Dwyer, who coach at the lower levels, do a great job. So we look forward to the challenge.
Well, congratulations again. We're going to get to talk to the girls now.
Thank you very much.
We're joined by the attacking line here. We've got Alexa Coutinho. Did I say that right? Okay. Mallory Lichtenstein, Amanda Love, Marion Williams, Amy Parter, and Sarah Melrose. Thanks for joining us. And we're going to start with you, Amanda, because I understand you were the high scorer for the team. Basically, this is the offensive line.
Yeah, basically. This year was like a very strong year for the forwards. I mean, we had our 3 starters were our seniors, and we played together very well. We're able to pass each other and just like give and go and really score and get them going.
Now, the 3 of you who are the seniors are in the chairs, right? Have you played together for years?
Yeah.
Since 9th grade, 10th grade?
Since 9th grade. Yeah.
So you're all splitting up next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, is this all going on your college applications?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the most exciting moment for you, Mallory?
Getting to states, or even beating Lakeland, because we lost to them last year in overtime. So beating them was amazing.
Now, I understand, Coach, because I'm here still with your coach, that there are some individual accomplishments on the team besides Amanda being the highest scorer. or in addition to?
Yes, Mallory was the second leading scorer. She was also a Carnet Award winner, which is a prestigious award given to a athlete, male or female, each week by Con Ed. And at the end of the year, there's a dinner and there's a $25,000 scholarship given.
So she's in the running for that
She's
scholarship.
in the running for that. Alexa is a member of the all-tournament team at States, and she's probably she is the main reason why these two young ladies are our leading scorers. She would get the ball down the right side and put it on cage, and they would have the easy job of finishing it off. So Alexa really helped us this year accumulate goals, and these two people finished those plays.
Well, I'm going to talk to the back row because you're going to be continuing on the team next year. So let's start with Amy. What have you learned from your seniors that you can see using going forward?
Well, I played the same position as Alexa, and I just learned everything from her. I just watched her play and watched her bring the ball down the field and cross it, and I don't know, she was amazing, and I just hope I can fill the position.
It's big shoes to fill, huh?
Yeah.
And Sarah, what was your most exciting moment in this?
My most exciting moment was at the John Jay Cross River game, I think, when it was one of my on games and I was just able to score 2 goals in that, and that was the most goals I scored in a game, and I really accomplished a lot with Alexa passing it to the middle and me just doing the easy job, as Sav said, and getting in the goal.
That's exciting. Well, Marion, was there a moment that was most exciting that you saw either Alexa, Mallory, or Amanda, something that they did that really sparked the team?
Well, every time they put the ball in the cage, it was awesome. You could see how much they loved it and how good they worked together.
So is this an experience you all will never forget?
Yeah,
definitely never forget it.
Just a little side note, Sarah also volunteered to clip some of her hair. She had longer hair, and when we got to States, my fur went and half of her fur went.
Was it really that long?
It was down to my
It was very long.
Donated?
Yeah, I was nicknamed Rat Tail, and I didn't donate it, unfortunately, which I wanted to, but I'm going to try that for the spring, so.
So you're growing it back?
Yeah, I'm growing it back.
For next season?
Yep.
Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll be up next with another line. I'm joined by the midfield line now. We've got KJ Warren, Katie Devaney, forgive me, girls, if I butcher your names, Midori Wahara? Wahara. It was close. Rebecca Parter, Lizzie Smith, and Sarah Chapin. Now, Katie, I know that you are one of the captains, and you're the only senior in this line. Mm-hmm. Can you just tell us, lay people, what is midfield? It's sort of halfway between offense and defense?
Midfield, we have to play both offense and defense. I don't know, maybe do the most running on the field, I guess. You have to help out, I think, more defensively. But on the sides, you work with the defense to transition, I guess, getting it up the field. And in the middle, you kind of help switch from the left to the right.
Okay.
So.
Do you score goals?
Yeah, I think each of us had about 5 goals, or maybe more. KJ scored 4 goals in the state tournament.
Oh, come on, you must know.
Let me think. Yeah, for sectionals and the regional finals, both of our goals helped us win, made us win.
Well, what was the most exciting moment for you?
I don't know if there's one moment that I can pinpoint more than others, but I just think the whole experience in general with the team throughout from August till November was the best experience of my life. So much fun.
Did it bring the team closer together?
Yeah, we're a family. We do everything together. We still do. So.
Were you a family before?
I think every season losing, seniors, you have to get used to the new crowd being brought in, and I think that we came together in preseason and just moved on together as a family throughout the rest of the season.
I know you're the only seniors. Everyone else juniors or sophomores?
I'm a sophomore.
Junior. Sophomores. So you think you can ever beat this experience?
No. It was the best.
You're glowing about it. What was so amazing?
It was just the entire team was amazing. Like all the girls on it were incredible, and we did so well.
we'll have like great years in the future, but nothing will beat this year. The first time going to states and winning it and undefeated, just, it was awesome.
What do you think, Rebecca?
I agree. I mean, I think we can possibly accomplish the same in the future, but the experience will never be the same because we're all so close and we've all become best friends that I'm not sure. We'll become friends definitely with the rest of our team members in the future years, but nothing will be like this.
Sarah, do you already feel like you're going to miss these girls?
Yeah, I've only played with them in the postseason because I came from JV, but like right away they were so accepting and so nice, and it's a totally different atmosphere on this team than it was on JV, and I
That
love
must
it.
be an amazing transition,
Yeah,
going from a
it was
JV
incredible.
team to the state champions.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity.
Well, Lizzie, do you play the same position as Katie? Or which of you plays the same position as Katie, I guess I should ask.
Well, usually KJ takes
KJ.
Katie's spot.
Oh,
when moves in from the right, I take the right. So.
Are you the center?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there something that you all have learned from Katie? That
everything.
Just a little.
Yep.
Katie's our leader on and off the field. She's the main reason why this team kind of gelled. You think they're great field hockey players, and they are, but they're even better individuals. They're great young ladies. And I think that's the strength of this team. I think that's the reason why they were able to fight through a lot of close situations and come out on top. I mean, you have talented people, national tournament players, all section is that first row. You have all tournament team, you have an all-state player. I mean, you have quality players, but I think it's the strength of the individual, the heart and soul of these girls that made the team special and made the year special. I think that's what really got them through the tough times, how close they were together.
Well, that's wonderful, and congratulations, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm going to introduce you to the defensive line of the Mamaroneck High School Championship field hockey team. First, we've got Jillian Coutinho, who is one of the co-captains and a senior, Catherine Sampson, Mary Colery, Charlotte Turovsky, Kate Fahey, who is from our very own news show, and Diana Bilbao. Coach, I know this defense has been unbelievable this year.
Totally amazing. This defense has shut down most teams, allowed only 9 goals in 22 games. You have an all-state player in one position in Jillian. You have probably the best defensive player in Catherine Sampson, who shuts down any of the leading scorers. And Mary Cleary takes care of our left side, the other team's strong side, by keeping the ball away from their attack players. And she did a great game in the semifinals, shutting down the leading player for Williamsville North. The other players, whenever I put them in the game, would fill in, not adequately, but they would keep the intensity and keep the pressure up. So this defense was probably the best defense in Section 1, and which allowed us to have the kind of year that we had.
Well, that's great. Well, let me ask you a question, Jillian. You're co-captain, but you're also a twin, and I understand there were 2 sets of twins on the team. How is that, being a co-captain and having your sister play with you, on the same team?
Well, I love playing with my sister. We actually play on the same side, and it's really great that we get to work together, and we work together really well. And so she's not really subordinate to me or anything because I'm captain.
Even at home?
No. So we're friends, so it's good.
Now, I understand that this group was a little bit superstitious about a few things. So, Catherine, why don't you tell us about some of the little superstitions that went around the defense?
Well, one thing was we had a bus, and we thought that like every time we won a game, we noticed that our bus number had a 9 in it. So we were really superstitious, and we were worried about it when we were going to states because we didn't take a school bus to states, unfortunately. We took a coach bus, and so we were worried that this coach bus wouldn't have a 9 in it. Because we found out later that all Mamaroneck district school buses had 9s in it, so we thought so we were nervous about it. But Barry Suman, our athletic director, called up just to ask another question about the bus, and she asked about the number, and they just said, oh, it's 991, which is good, perfect, because we had to play 2 games up there, so we're like, oh, 9 for each game. So that's just one of the things. We had many things, but.
Well, Mary, tell us about, you had some superstition also, didn't you? Or was it you?
Well, I actually broke my superstition. Before the semifinal game, the hair tie that I always wore, I used to wear one hair tie and then my hair braided, and the one that I wear on top broke. I was devastated, but it ended up being okay because we won. And I know before every game we wore bands that Catherine made, sweatbands around our wrist that said DT, and then like a nickname, mine said M-Dog. And we would just get in the huddle before every game and just kind of like talk each other up and get psyched. So.
But there was a lot of stuff about hair ribbons, and we don't want to hear about the underwear, the lucky underwear. But you had lucky hair ribbons? Some of you?
Katie and I did. Katie and the other captain who played midfield, I play center defense, and she plays center midfield, so we work a lot together. So we had like our lucky underwear and our lucky both that we always wore.
Cleaned in between games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just checking. Now, Kate, you know, you're here from both ends of it. What was this like for you? I mean, you haven't been at the studios this season. We understand why, and we're glad that you're coming back, hint, hint. But this must have been great.
It was amazing. It was the best experience of my life. I had so much fun.
Better than being on our news show, huh?
Yeah.
Don't answer that. I'm teasing. What was the most exciting moment?
I don't think there was one. I mean, when I could see the timer counting down, so like 10 seconds before, I got this feeling in my stomach, and it was so incredible to be the first American team to win states, and it was amazing to win it with all these people.
Charlotte, I gather you felt like the excitement from the community, that they've like come behind you all.
Definitely. My friends knew about it. It was in the papers. I think the whole school made a banner for us before we left. The athletic department and people signed the banner, and it was big and orange. And we read it on the way up to States, and it was really nice to know that the school was behind us.
That's great. Diana, you were called up from JV, am I right? Is that
No,
you?
I
No,
was.
you were. Okay. Got that confused. Okay. The three in the front, you're the seniors?
Yes.
This going on your college applications?
Yeah.
You planning to play field hockey, hoping to play field hockey in college?
Yeah, I think so.
All of you?
I'm actually going to play lacrosse in college.
Yeah, and I'm planning on doing crew, just because it takes a toll on my back playing field hockey. So, although I love it, maybe I'll just play some intramural club.
Well, I have a wacky question for you girls. I actually played field hockey many moons ago. And back then we had a very bizarre tradition. Very bizarre. Before games, we had to have juice and cookies with the other team. I gather you don't do that anymore.
We don't really talk to each other.
Yeah. We thought it was bizarre back then also, but that was protocol. Anyway, this wonderful defensive line. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And good luck in the future.
Thank you.
Last but certainly not least, we've got what I'll call the last line of defense, the goalie and the sweeper. And for the goalie, we've got Sam Lyons and, Sam Lyons, and the sweeper is Leah DiBacari. Leah, sorry. Thanks for joining us, girls. Sam, I understand you had 25 shutouts this season. Coach, isn't that amazing?
It's over the last 2 seasons. But we play 16 regular season games, and then we had some playoff games. To have 13 shutouts this season against the quality of teams that we played the top 6 teams in the section the first 6 games because of our record from last year. And then we went on to states and regionals and played top teams there. So to have 13 shutouts this year is a truly amazing feat. And Sam has been a goalie for us for 3 years. She started as a sophomore and learned, and last year she had 12 shutouts. We had a great year last year. She is one of the top goalkeepers in Section 1.
And I understand that up until you becoming the state champions, she had 2 shutouts against the #1 team in your division?
Yes, the #1 team, Lakeland, who had won the states and had a 25-game winning streak coming into our Flint Field to play us. Sam shut them out, and then when we beat them in the sectional finals, Sam also shut them out. Another aspect to Sam is she's also the recipient of the Golden Dozen Award, which is a Section 1 Coaches Award to the top 12 student athletes in the section.
Now, I understand the whole team, there are no academic slouches here.
No, this year the whole team has been awarded the Scholar Athlete Award, which means that the average of 90 or above, the team has accumulated that average. So not only are they good on the field, but in the classroom and in the community.
That's wonderful. Now, Sam, what are your plans for next year?
I'm going to go to college somewhere, I don't know where.
Hopefully I'll be able to play field hockey. I'm looking more at schools for academics rather than sports, but hopefully I'll be able to find a place like club or intramural.
Well, this has to help anyway.
Yeah.
Leah, I get it
Leah.
right. Leah, sorry. Now you're a sweeper. Can you tell me what is a sweeper?
Basically, it's the last line of defense, and I bail everyone out that makes the mistakes in front of me. Or I try to bail everyone out.
And do you have to help with rebound, you know, when Sam makes a save, it can't clear it far enough?
Yeah, I clear it, but I'm like the only one in the field that doesn't have to play a man-to-man coverage, and I play more of a zone. So instead of marking up, I'm just there to get it when it comes across.
Now, are you also a senior?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. Now, I happen to have heard that you two are sort of probably the most superstitious on this team, that you had a ritual. Let's hear it. And you were demanding in this ritual.
Our underwear.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't talking, but let's hear that.
Well, first of all, my hair elastics, I wore them all season since we beat Lakeland on October 6th for the first time. I did not miss a game with them. I retired them after the season, but I broke them out again to take my SATs. And I do have lucky underwear, which I had to wear the whole tournament and blue dried after I washed it in the sink. I don't know, I'm really...
I heard something about a sandwich.
Oh. No, before, when we first started, the Lakeland game, we went out to lunch because we had school that day, and we didn't go together, but we went to Wraps, a place in Larchmont, and we got a certain wrap. And ever since that game, before every big game, we got the same exact wrap. We took it on the bus with us to Syracuse.
And what happened when it didn't get wrapped the right way?
Oh, we went back. I took it back. Put on the wrong kind of wrap. My mom got scared. She was like, can't jinx it. So we went back and picked up a new one.
So did your parents think you had lost it?
Yeah, pretty much. I had to eat a special Luna bar and drink a certain Gatorade before every single game.
Do you really think that made the difference?
Yeah, in my mind.
And how much fun was it having your coach get rid of all his fuzz?
It was scary. It was scary.
You guys didn't actually do it.
Oh.
Yeah, we did. I misunderstood then. You let them shave you?
Yeah, I trust them.
They videotaped it too.
No, we had it videotaped. Just to get back to Leah, Leah is kind of modest in her evaluation of what she does. You are the last line of defense before they get to Sam, and even getting to Sam, once they got to Sam, was very tough scoring. But Leah does a phenomenal job of not only getting that ball, but getting the ball out and to the right person at the right time. Once that ball's on Leah's stick, I kind of breathe a sigh of relief because I know, I'm not concerned about the play anymore because I know she's going to do the right thing. And constantly she stepped up big in big games and did the right thing for us.
And that's sort of an instinctual thing, isn't it?
I think it is. I think it is. She has a basketball background, which definitely helps in field hockey of covering the angles and drop stepping and doing the right thing. So I think without these two back there, those 9 goals that we let people score would have been significantly higher. And we would have had really a tough time having the kind of season that we had without these two.
Well, that's great. Your coach thinks a lot of you. Thanks for coming in, and good luck.
Thank you.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that's it for this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Maura Carlin. We'll see you after the new year. Have a great holiday.